with my family was, well, I need to get involved. I need to become a volunteer doing something. And so I happened to see an ad in a newspaper that said, mentors needed. And I thought, oh, I can do that, So I called, and they were starting a brand new mentoring program. Our county didn't have a mentoring program. So I got in and became a mentor at the very beginning stages where there was no director, there was nobody running except the family connection person. So they enlisted my help, and as a volunteer, I worked for almost 2 years to get the program up and running and going and working with the school system. So we are an in-school friendship-based mentoring program. We started serving one school system, and we have 3 school systems in our county. We have Jackson County Schools, Jefferson City Schools, and Commerce City Schools. So we started with one county, and our goal was we need to get some success stories. We need to just get in there and do a really good job and get the community to begin thinking about mentoring. And we had no budget and no money and no grants and nothing but volunteers. So I think because our organization began that way in such a grassroots way, our focus has really always been on people. And a lot of our focus is on using people because really they are our biggest and most powerful medium in connecting to the people in our communities. So we began to build relationships with each individual school, which there's 20 schools in the Jackson County school system. And so we are the agency that recruits, we train, we get the background checks, and then we kind of pass our students on. And the counselors at the schools are the liaison. They match the students, or the mentors and the students with each other. So I'm not an expert, but we started with about 40 mentors at the end of our first year of functioning, and we're getting ready to launch our 7th year. And last year we had 235 mentors working with kids in our 3 school systems. So we served about 250 kids. And I think we went from 45 to 65 to 145 mentors the 3rd year, and then the 4th, 5th, and 6th we had over 200 for those 3 years. And we've gone through some difficult situations, I'm sure you all know, with people's jobs and being able to keep mentors. So here's a few of the things that we do, and so I hope maybe you can glean a little bit. There might be something like I said, I'm no expert. We don't have a lot that we use. We don't have a lot of funds, which I know a lot of us probably don't. So we kind of try to take the things that we see working within our group. And I wrote a few of them down. Get involved with people. They are powerful, and their stories are powerful, and the way they interact within your agency is something that if they have a positive experience, they will share it with their friends and other people who are like them. And so once you can get one of those great role models in your program and they have a positive experience, they will talk to other people, and that's kind of what we found to work for us. Be a caring, kind person in your community, and make emotional connections with the people that you're involved with. It's so easy to just keep everything on that social level and not actually talk to the mentors that come to your program and find out, well, what do you like to do? And then you find out, oh, they're involved in this. Oh, they're in the equestrian group, or this person is this. And it kind of can open up other avenues for you as you begin to kind of make some of those emotional connections with the people that you're working with. I try to go to as many special events as I can go that I know. I'm sure these are things you guys are doing, but going to special events in the community, the chamber events, the local businesses, I was one person, but what I tried to do was make myself available to volunteer for other people. If I knew that there was a group of businesses that were hosting a school supply drive, I would offer to, can I pick up things for you? Because you're making connections within your community, and people just respond to that. So the other thing that we began to do was nurture the culture of mentoring in our community by using our local success stories that had happened with our students. And we use those stories to influence and inspire people. And what we did about the third year was we just took a little video camera, and we had release forms that were signed by the students. And we went into the school, and we just began to interview students and ask them, what do you like about your mentor? What are some things that you do? And I do have copies of some of our original ones, and then we've progressed stuff a little bit, and this year we were actually able to have a professional do our promotional DVD. I found out that when I took the stories of the students and I went to speak at the Rotary Club, or I went to speak at, a church or a group, that it wasn't just me saying, you really need to volunteer in your community. If they heard a student say, this person, basically saved my life, you would see tears, rolling down the faces of men, because they're like, okay, I know I need to do something. Okay, when's the next training, And you would get, and some people heard me speak 2 or 3 times before they ever, like one man said, you came to the Lions Club 3 times before. I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this. And so now he's like a really big advocate in our group. But it's so easy to underestimate the simple things, and getting the kids to tell their stories, or finding a way to be able to share the kids' stories. So for us, it was by DVD. So we did that, and we began to share that. And then people in the community began to talk about, did you see the video about Lindsay's legacy? And can I have a copy? So what we began to do at that point was we began to enlist. We had an advisory group that we formed of 15 people, just a cross section. We had representatives from our school systems, and we have an assistant superintendent from Jackson County Schools that serves, and we bring in like a counselor from each school system, and then other people from the health department. And so we've got this great group, a roundtable kind of discussion that we do once a month. And we found that I couldn't do the job myself. There was just too many schools, there was too many kids. So we began to enlist what we called area leaders. And now we're getting ready to call them ambassadors. So what we did was we identified our assets. When we had a mentor come, or a business person that was maybe very interested in mentoring, but couldn't necessarily take the 30 minutes a week out of their schedule to go to the school, we asked them, would you be an ambassador for our program? If they were great. We have a former Miss Georgia who works with our program, and she's a great ambassador for us. So she'll take our DVD and she'll go speak to people, and she'll share in churches. And so we realized that we've got to get out there, and it can't just be one person doing it all. So identifying our assets was really great, and finding people that were connected to the communities that they live in. So what we're going to do this year, we kind of gave them a list of responsibilities, and that was basically to take the west area of Jackson County, or the east area, the south area. We had the same problem with South Jackson area, which is our area that heads out toward Athens. There's very few businesses out that way, so we couldn't get mentors really to drive that far. So we really had to work. So I enlisted a retired businesswoman who was very passionate about the mentoring program, and she began going and knocking on the door of the fire department and the churches and anything she could find in that area, just to ask people. And it's pretty effective when you have a volunteer trying to enlist another volunteer, because the people, when they're talking to them, they realize this person's not getting paid for this. This is not their job. They're out here, so there must be something to this. So what we'll do this year is we're going to have kind of like ambassadors for the different cities, because we've got Commerce and Jefferson and Houston, and they're basically going to be looking out for new businesses that move into their town. They're going to make rounds, just to kind of let people know we have a mentoring program. This is what we do. This is our website. You can find us here on Facebook. So that's a good thing when you're really spread very thin, is to enlist some people to help you. And so we just, give them some information about what we expect, and this is what we would like for you to do.